Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars by Web replay. Spawn north side is the Black Hole Lash, we got mooji6. Spawn south side is the, was this Pink Cosmos? White Nova Jake. We got Hamplmann. Oh, I butchered that name well enough. So, let's get started. This is a 3-base map, a good number of mountains, shores, and roads, so a lot of good mobility and poor mobility, to say the least. Both sides have a calm tower, easily secureable, but can be captured, but if it does capture, it's probably already game over. Jake, of course, get plus Simpson firepower when attacking from planes. Lash's counterpart can get plus Simpson firepower from attacking from planes, as well as plus 20% on forests and 30% on cities and 40% on mountains. Hopefully they're all good. I try to eye for games with a decent amount of turns. Lately, I've been trying for games with greater than 25 amount of turns, but with a minimum of 20. Try to get good quality of stock of replays, as well as somewhat higher rate as well. Try to get a good mix of both. Tank here on top of the city. You have an artillery piece here. Remember as well, Jake's power, A's power does give indirect units +1 range, which is sort of interesting. Lash, of course, can have perfect mobility of terrain tactics and prime tactics, so the force could be driven through, no problem. Interrupts the capture there. There's also an airport in the center of the map as well. Tank and another artillery with infantry. So Jake's going for a good number of artillery. This map does have a strong side, weak side mechanic. The weak side at least has a good number of 4 mountains here for defensive terrain as well. Weak, but defensible. Nice little design, I would say. Battlecopter, infantry. And 3rd infantry there. So Lash has gone out a battlecopter now. Tank will strike tank. Battlecopter, infantry. Jake's tank here could receive a first strike, but it won't go super great for Lash, though on top of the force here, at least gets plus 2% firepower to help break through the 3-star defense. Daily repairs would be another matter though. And pulling back the tank to the forest is probably the best call. AT now deployed in field to help counter out the battlecopter. Flash can just rely on this battlecopter here to protect this flank. And Jake would probably need to get out an AT relatively soon on this flank, unless the battlecopter is heading towards his side. And the one health infantry unit is going to start to capture that city. It'll take another 19 turns to get the full capture. AT infantry and tank. Interrupts the flip there. Right now it's 18,000 versus 16,000. Does make it a first strike there in the artillery. This tank can retaliate. Anti-air is out of range of the battlecopter. And we'll finish off or get a good shot there. Traps the tank, at least from this side. Nope, it's fully surrounded. And the artillery's in range while at as well. So maybe that was a bit of a trap. A little bit of bait there to get encircled. You don't have to kill something, you just have to make sure it doesn't move or exist anymore. And looks like Jake is planning to be a bit defensive here. Could have double tapped this tank, but just want to either be a bit defensive. Tank's trying to rotate over the left side with the infantry as well, trying to flank this region. It does get a good shot there. Battlecopter will strike the infantry unit there, and will allow this tank to escape. And, oh, I thought I was going to hit that artillery there, but hitting that tank is a good idea. Battlecopter get a good strike here, and looks like this battlecopter will be going down there. Sacks the battlecopter to save the tank, which maybe not a great idea, though did get a good strike on this tank here. Flips the city there, gets a good strike. Will not finish it off. And I think an infantry unit there should just move right here, and another one maybe on top of the plains there. Yep. And order to protect the artillery and the battlecopter with the mountains causing issues there. Over here, tanks rotating around, trying to stop this attack here. Tank, and infantry. Takes out the infantry unit there, no problem. Another shot there, allows the tank to strike the artillery. Tank, infantry, tank. Prime tactics and beatdowns available. Beatdown, of course, improves the firepower from planes from 10% to 20%, which is not too particularly great. Artillery shooting up at that tank, gets a good shot there. We'll get a shot on the 8 here to save the battlecopter a bit of pain or death. Battlecopter, tank, infantry. Takes out that wounded artillery. Both wounded artillery goes down. Do now have a block rock available. And now we've got a prime tactics as well. Prime tactics is likely going to be deployed out next turn. Block rock could be deployed out this turn. No, won't be able to make use of the indirect bonus. Maybe we'll get used to the increased vehicle movement speed by 2. Or maybe it's saving it for next turn. Dropping to a bit better position. Guess we'll find out soon enough. Let's get some good hits over here. We got a nice flank going on to munch through all those infantry units there, but Lash has a good number of tanks this region. Tank. Insert from 94,000, Lash starts turn 71. And now here comes the prime tactics. Perfect movement and double defense stars. Takes out the unit on the HQ. This is an 8 defense star infantry unit there. Almost bulletproof. The artillery, of course, can get a good shot on anything on those units nearby. Tank will strike the tank. Still got a good number of tanks there, and probably gonna see the block rock. The +2 movement range is gonna be very important. If you unit, the HQ capture can easily be interrupted, though not necessarily fully stopped with the 8 defense stars. Let's see how well it goes. He's saving the block rock? Guess he doesn't want to deal with double defense stars. Just get some interrupts there. Some merges there. Not sure if it's a great idea to hold on. Granted, all this firepower benefits comes from the attacking from planes, and Lash is on the other side of roads. So, strange enough, somehow being on planes made it so it doesn't get good usage of the day-to-day passive or anything here. So, strangely, pretty good position now thinking about Lash, because she was just next to roads, cities, and other terrains where it doesn't get bonus damage there. But now Lash is forced to fall back. The front shift here will allow Jake to really punch through this region. Definitely don't want to end the turn on top of a shore there. Probably it's better to end the turn on the road there, but pulls back even farther. So, Lash pulls back, ends for 104,000. Jake has 96 with the day-to-day benefits. He's still about a half turn ahead, and we may see the block rock this turn. Or maybe not. Just trying to rotate units forward. Whenever as well, block rock gives his artillery 1 plus 1 indirect range. They could use the edge it forward a little bit there. Tank infantry with 5,000 in bank. One property still despicably neutral. And it looks like in the point of the match where both players are a bit of a stall fest at the moment. And Jake can just slowly inch Lash off the map at the current rate because he has superpower. Lash has 0 energy so far. 3 turns of 0 energy. That's pretty impressive. Usually there's at least one sort of engagement, like a lone infantry unit there, but there's not even that. And Jake has so many tanks. 14 tanks versus 13. So both sides has a good core of tanks to blitz forward. Of course, Jake is ready to blitz. Lash is nowhere near ready. I guess in her case, it wouldn't be a blitz with increased movement speed. It would be more of an Ardennes. With the prime tactics. Tank. Triple tanks. I'll just sort of fast forward a little bit there since both players looks like just trying to edge out of positioning. Try and flip or capture the despicable neutral property from the Swiss. Tank, infantry, battlecopter, infantry. And there we go, Lash has some energy now, 600 energy. Front shifting towards the left. More infantry skirmishes, join captures, 4 energy left. So it'll have to be a bit more of a larger contestment. Though right now, a 2,000 income lead's not massive. Jake could let that get captured. Because after all, he has the edge in this game right now with the block rock. Or potential block rock. Some small skirmishes there. Closing the distance. Oops. Pushing for a couple of tanks there could leave Lash over. Could make Lash overextend. Tank. 19 tanks versus 19 tanks. Lash is going to be a bit more posturing, a little bit more over here. A couple more hits did interrupt the capture entirely. And Jake did flip a property, this one here, so now he has income advantage. Couple small picks there, but overall the front line still being drawn. And won't be with Crayon. More tanks. 23 tanks versus 20 tanks. Have I ever seen a game with this many tanks? Because usually in these very slow games that there's a bit of stall fest, there's usually higher income and more high-tech units. Not just mass tanks. 23 tanks versus 23 tanks. Battlecopter may be picked off, which could cause a massive catalyst, hard to say. Small pushes forward. Artillery here could range some units. I think this is bad positioning there by Lash. Jake has now an edge. His indirects are in range with his superpowers, so this may be the turn for Block Rock. It is a turn for Block Rock. Let's see now. With that established, Lash has 228. Jake has a nice even 207 with his day-to-day, so they're pretty even at the moment. And let's see how this goes. ATRs pushing forward, take out the battlecopter. Infantry hits infantry. Infantry hits infantry. Indirect artillery strikes tank. Tank strikes tank. HQ cleared out, giving a good defense position there. This indirect could have got a first strike there. I think that could have been misplay. Let the artillery strike first. But instead, the artillery is not being used, so maybe it's eyeing for reposition, maybe on the shores. Good hits there. Thing is, when it comes to front lines, when they're smashing together, means you don't have to worry about some aspects. And Lash will have Prime Tech the next turn, which is probably for a bit of extra firepower and defense. Does maintain the artillery there. From the planes, might as well, he has plus 40% firepower from attacking from planes. A significant amount to say the least. Lash went from 227 down to 130, so she lost about 100,000 value. Jake retains 5,000 of the value after day-to-day income. And now we do have Prime Tactics. She has right now 21 tanks remaining, and they all seem mostly pretty healthy. Jake has 24, so Lash's counterattack could be quite significant, though she's now half attack from roads here, which means no bonus firepower. She has to make an edge here from the city, I believe. She has some planes here for plus 20% firepower onto the roads units over here, so it's like Tetris, you go for the corners. So she may have to Tetris her way to victory, of all things. That corner piece there. Not Tetris, Minesweeper. Why do I think Tetris? You attack from the hit the corners, flag the corners, and then start peeling away from the rest of the puzzle. Battlecopter does strike the tank there, and will not be able to break through. Does break through there, but that's all roads there. Interrupts the capture at least. Hits the one in the city. Booster strike there from the planes. Maybe able to... There's one from top of the city. Good booster strike there. Probably should attack the 4 health one, then could allow the healthier one to strike there for boost damage, though it does have to be careful about the artillery here. Just -1 range there, so that may be one reason why she did not want to park on top of the city. So yeah, it looks like she's nope. Now she's normally into the range there, so maybe it's how she's trying to Minesweeper her way through this. And here, artillery and tank. Let's see, Jake now has 142, so he lost a significant amount of value. Not as much. 20 tanks versus 16. Jake's lacking tanks. Now he does have to go through double defense stars, which does matter, and also against a lot of these tanks does not matter since on top of roads. But that one's going to be a hard one to break through on top of the forest. Planes, of course, get double defense stars, but he, of course, have plus some firepower to break through that. Beatdowns available. Going for the HQ capture. Don't think that'll be successful, but does put pressure on Lash to do something about it. The best way maybe she could do is terrain. No, she won't be able to get terrain tactics like sprint this entry unit, the HQ unit there. Let's see now. She's down to 110 or 101 versus 146. She has 14 tanks. Jake has 16. It's the infantry unit there. Double taps. May double tap that tank. Does. Finish off that tank there. Interrupts the capture, which does spend the turn of a 9 health tank, which is actually very important right there. Hits that tank twice. Normally enter the range of the artillery, so the artillery in the auxiliary is going to do some good work. Not to mention another block rock. So they'll have increased range and have the picks of maybe the ones in no defense stars. Not to mention both of them are on planes, which means plus 40% firepower, so they can probably one-shot some of the tanks on top of the roads. Tank, infantry, tank. I have a feeling the block rock this turn is going to be very good. Yep, that's easy one-shots on the tanks on top of the roads. And this one can reach the roads. Ranges the city there. Sacks a 3 health tank. Takes out a tank on top of the road. Hits the wounded tank there. Takes out that unit there. This has 5 capture progress remaining. He can join capture the 7 health tank there. He may do an HQ capture. You need a sizable interrupt this next turn, which is going to be very difficult. There's a tank on top of the forest there. And there's no battlecopter to charge forward, try to get interrupt. So it looks like Jake will secure an HQ capture next turn. Don't see a way to stop it. Tank infantry. Lash down to 63,000. Jake has 122. And she hits the resign button. This is Grade saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.